Niranjan wants to know that, which are the US companies which are facing, issues with regards to US, etc. So, Niranjan, I would suggest you that you don't have to track this. You have to give the mandate to Aditya and let him manage and find out which companies are facing issues in US, etc. However, there is one more question. 1 second. Suppose I have invested in pharma, so when to exit? So I think
Yeah.
Aditya has already explained,
Yeah.
this is the sector where you need to be invested for a longer period of time. So you don't have to really worry about when to exit.
Actually, Vikash,
Yeah.
for that one question, somebody asked, right? Which are the US companies which are facing troubles, right?
Yeah.
Let me show you one thing. The largest generic company in US is Teva. Okay. And how much trouble they are in, you can understand by looking at their stock price. This is their stock price, Vikash. Did you look at the chart?
Yeah.
Their stock price used to be $80, is down to $11 after 5 years. This is the kind of stress the Indian companies competitors are in, right? The second largest company in US after Teva for generic drugs is Mylan. This is the Mylan stock price, Vikash. It used to be what, $70, it's down what, $13. This is the kind of stress our competitors are in. When your competition is that kind of stress, supply is going to go down. They're not going to maintain supply because they need to survive. Yeah, go ahead, Vikash.
All
Next
right.
question.
So Mr. Nitin Shah wants to know, can you give some examples of small cap pharma companies that you've invested in?
Yeah, so in our slides, we had that portfolio holding. So these are our portfolio holdings, right? So you can see Indoco Remedies is a 3,000 or 2,500 crore market cap company. Healthcare Global is again a 4,000 crore market cap company. JB is now 10,000 crores. Ajanta is 15,000 crores. Laurus is 16,000 crores. FDC is 2,000 crores. So we have a bunch of Unichem is 1,200, 1,300 crores, 1,500 crores, maybe. So you have a bunch of companies here which are small and mid cap.
So what's your take on the investment by big pharma in complex generics and biosimilars?
So both these segments, right? The problem I have is many of these large companies, right? They all say, I am trying to do complex generics. Okay, great. What is the benefit of doing complex generics? The benefit is that it's difficult to make. So therefore, there will be few players and therefore I'll be able to charge a decent price because competition will be limited. But the problem is when I go to 10 pharma companies and ask them, okay, what are you trying to do? All 10 tell me I'm trying to do complex generics. And if 10 of you are doing the same product, how is it complex? See, I as an investor don't care whether you're making an aeroplane or you're making a needle for the US market. All I care about is if you are making an aeroplane, how many others are making an aeroplane? And if you're making a needle, how many else are making a needle? The problem that is happening is because of this complex generic and biosimilar, 10 pharma companies are saying I'm doing complex generics and biosimilar. Now, if all 10 of them end up doing the same products, nobody will make money. Nobody will make money because end of the day, jab supply ka baat aayega, there will be 10 people supplying the same product, no matter how complex or difficult it was. And if 10 people are supplying the same product, the pricing will not be good. It is a commodity market. You will have to compete with the other to get your share. And the only way to compete is by reducing price. Which is why I am not bullish. I am absolutely not bullish on complex generics and biosimilars. I think it's a huge waste of money that these pharma companies are doing. They are all realizing that as well, because now if you listen to most of these pharma companies commentary, even the larger ones, they have started talking about the Indian market. They started talking about acquisitions in India, right? They started talking about expanding Indian labor force because they have also come to realize कि इतना पैसा बनने वाला नहीं है जितना ये लोग सोच रहे थे. It's not going to happen.
So Sandeep wants to know 20% weight in the pharma, healthcare, pharma, PMS makes sense for next 10 years. Is it advisable?
Look, I think 20% is reasonable. And I think 10 years is a reasonable time frame. So I think it's okay that way.
Ashish is asking that these FDA issues can be repeated in future as well. So,
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah.
But it is the same companies which are vulnerable to it time and again. Look, Sun Pharma got first in trouble with Mohali, in Halol in 2014. In 2017, Halol was cleared. Then again, they fell into trouble with Halol. Cadila went into trouble with Moraiya in 2012, came out in 2016. Then again went into trouble with Moraiya in 2018. ये जुगाड़ का problem तो होता रहेगा. I agree with you. That is why it is important that you don't invest in those funds where these companies are the larger weights, because these companies will keep having these problems. And then as investors will keep complaining that pharma companies keep falling into trouble. Why do you need to invest in these companies? You don't need to invest in them, right? Just because they are large caps, just because they are large weight, doesn't mean I need to have them in my portfolio. I don't need to hug the benchmark. If I'm hugging the benchmark, how can I create alpha, right? I have to create alpha only when I'm away from the benchmark, which is what I did with my DSP product, and which is what we are doing with the Incred product as well.